Hi, this is Dr. Peter Khan. Welcome to the 92nd episode of the AskDrKan Show. On this show, we give you information that's going to help you solve your health puzzle and help you get well and stay well. So, I'm a functional medicine doctor, and my practice usually focuses on people who have chronic conditions. And one of the most common things that I see in people is chronic food allergies and chronic food sensitivities. And these food allergy reactions can manifest as either GI discomfort, like bloating, gas, or bowel movement trouble, or many times these allergies and sensitivity issues actually shows up as chronic skin problem. You can have eczema and rash, or even autoimmune skin issue like psoriasis. It can show up as brain fog. You can have neurological symptoms like brain fog, inability to concentrate, fatigue. You can even have mood issue from chronic allergy and sensitivity issue. You can feel cranky, irritable. You can feel depression, anxiety. So allergy and sensitivity is much more than just a food issue. People think food allergies and food sensitivity is a digestive problem. I'm going to tell you that food allergy and sensitivity is actually an immune system reaction because 70% of your immune system is in your gut. Your gut health equals your immune health. So if you want to improve your food sensitivity and reactions, then you need to improve your immune system. Okay, so that's really important to understand. People tend to just think these symptoms manifest just from the GI tract, but usually it shows up in your energy level, in your mood, your skin, your overall well-being. So it's really important to address these food sensitivity and food allergy symptoms. Now there's a Chinese proverb. This is from my sister Tai Li. If you're watching, this one's straight from you. Is that in Chinese we have the saying. It says, 病从口出，祸从口 No, 病从口入，祸从口出. So this is a Chinese word for disease comes through the mouth and trouble comes out of the mouth. So what that means is, it's another way of saying all disease begins in the gut, right? Because what you put into your mouth, this motion that you do several times a day, which is eating, you can introduce things into your body that may not be so healthy for you, right? There's processed food, you can have pathogens and germs that you can put into your mouth. So what you put into your mouth really determines the level of your health. So we need to start there, okay? And I will even go one further, and the second part of that proverb is what comes out of your mouth. What does that mean? That means your mindset, right? Because what's in your heart is going to come out of your mouth, and you don't have to say it if you just think about it, right? In today's social media world, a lot of people are on the internet trolling, writing negative comments, and that's just, it's the same thing as just gossiping and saying mean things to people on social media. It's the same thing because it's what's in your heart. So you got to have a positive mindset. You can't have a negative mindset and expect yourself to become healthy. So let's get back to this allergy. How can we fix this allergy and sensitivity problem? First, you got to understand it starts with what you introduce in your body. So I'm going to talk about the 6 steps. There are 6 steps to improving food sensitivity and allergies. Okay? Number 1 is that we must eliminate foods or reactive foods. You must eliminate the foods that you react to. Remember, when you eat something and your body digests that protein, and that protein your body is having an immune response to, that's where the reaction comes from. So know that food reaction is an immune system response. That means your body's white blood cells, dendritic cells, different type of immune cells are literally attacking that food protein like it's a foreign invader. So if you have a food that you're sensitive to or reactive to, you must eliminate that so you don't keep continuously triggering this immune response, which over time can build up where you become so inflamed that not only you hurt, you have inflammation, also can lead to autoimmune disease. So number 1 step is to eliminate the food that you may be reactive to. Now, how do you know what foods you're reacting to? Well, you can either do a food sensitivity test, which can measure what your current reactions are. Most people don't understand how what those tests are measuring. Your food sensitivity testing you have food sensitivity testing. So food sensitivity testing is measuring mostly IgG and IgA response. These are delayed reaction. What that means is if you eat a food that you're sensitive to, it's mediated by this part of the immune system, which is a delayed response. So that means you eat something like gluten, let's just say you have sensitivity to gluten, you eat it today, you may not react to it for 3 to 5 days after you eat it. So you eat gluten today, you don't feel bad today, you don't feel bad tomorrow, you don't even feel bad on the 3rd day, but on the 4th day, you start to feel something. And the reaction to gluten may not be that your tummy aches, it may be just you feel more brain foggy. That may be the only symptom you have. For other people, eating gluten will show up as achiness, joint pain, like, man, why am I so sore today? That may be the only reaction you have from eating gluten. And it's a delayed reaction that's usually more subtle. And it's not necessarily tummy ache, okay? Now, the other type of reaction is called food allergy. So you can do a food allergy test. This is a test that's mostly done by your medical doctor. Okay, now I'll explain why the medical doctor do allergy tests, but not sensitivity tests. This is a test that's measuring IgE response. If you look on your lab test, it'll tell you IgG, IgA for food sensitivity, and when medical allergists do the test, you see this measuring IgE response. And IgE is your immediate response, and meaning that if you eat something you're allergic to, you usually will get a response within a few hours, up to a day maybe. Okay, so it's pretty quick. This will be the example, of kids, like you have kids in school who are allergic to peanuts, right? So it's like a peanut-free zone, because if these children who have allergy to peanut eat peanut, literally within minutes to hours, they can start to have severe allergic reaction to the point where the throat may start to shut down, you can get anaphylaxis, and that's something that's need to be treated medically with either EpiPen or asthma inhaler in kids who express these allergy symptoms in respiratory symptoms. So this is something that can be treated with a drug, right? Benadryl, EpiPen, some type of medication to stop this immediate reaction. This is acute, right? Remember, medicine, drugs treat acute symptoms. That's what drugs are for. They shine in an area where they can suppress a symptom right away so that you don't die from something. Very useful. However, it doesn't work in all cases because it only works for allergy, it doesn't work for sensitivity. And this is the reason why your medical doctor typically do not test for sensitivity, because there's no drug for sensitivity. There's no drug that can fix sensitivity. How you fix sensitivity is by the 6 steps that we're going to talk about to improve it, which is all through natural means. Hi, Sama. Good to see you again on the show. Marianne, good to see you. And my sister Tylee's on the show. Hey, I used that proverb for you. All right. So these are the 2 different types of reactions. So in order to eliminate these reactive foods, you must cut them out. There's no drug for it. Okay. So how do we go ahead and fix the sensitivity? Number 1 step is avoid the reactive foods. Number 2 is digestive enzymes. So this is so important. And I will add not only enzymes, but also hydrochloric acid. That's your gastric HCl. So enzymes plus HCl. Okay? Because once you eliminate the bad food, now you got to be able to digest the food that you do eat. It's important to break down the food into its constituent particles, right? So you want to break down the protein into amino acids. You want to break down the starch into simple sugars. You want to break down the fats into fatty acids so that your body can start to absorb it. This is a very common issue because from the age of after the 5th decade of life, after age 50, we typically start to make less digestive acid as a sign of aging. We just don't make enough. And every year that we age after 50, we lose about 1% of digestive acid production. So for someone that's 70 years old, you may be 20% less digestive acid secretion compared to a 50-year-old. So that means your digestion is 20% more compromised. This is just from normal aging. Now, if you add to somebody with thyroid issue, with chronic gut issue, with neurological dysfunction, you may even have less digestive acid secretion due to these conditions. So this is makes this one of the most important things you can supplement with. In fact, if I have a choice for you to take a multivitamin or a digestive enzyme every day over the multivitamin. Because if you take a multivitamin, what if you can't digest your food? Then it doesn't matter what kind of healthy food you eat, what supplement you take, you can't absorb any of it. See, it's not just what you eat, it's what you absorb, right? You are not what you eat, you're what you're able to absorb from the food that you eat. Now, you got to start with healthy food to begin with, right? You can't put in junk and take enzyme to thinking you're going to extract something out of nothing, out of food that's devoid of nutrient. So you got to start with healthy food, but then you also got to be able to absorb it. So that's the second step. The third step to restoring or reducing food sensitivity and allergy is you got to have a healthy microbiome. Okay? Microbiome is basically the bacteria in your gut. We're talking about the probiotics. Now, in your gut, you have more than probiotics. You have yeast that's normally there. You have bacteria that's normally there. There's even some parasite that kind of live in symbiosis with us. But if you have a lot of these good guys, the bad guys are kind of kept in check. So it's always a balance, right? In the gut, it's always a balance between the good guys and the bad guys. And if you have a lot of good guys, you're going to be relatively healthy. Now, what happens is through processed food, sugar, toxins in our food like pesticides and herbicides, many of these chemicals in our food, and medication, prescription medications, many of these substances actually destroy the healthy microbiome and create an imbalance where now you don't have enough good guys and the bad guys start to overgrowth. Then we start to see candida overgrowth, which we see a lot in our client population. We start to see parasites start to proliferate. We start to see these bad bacteria start to grow. Now you start these gut infection that's going on, may even lead to SIBO, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. Then what happens is to further compromise your digestion, then makes you more reactive food. So sometimes these food reactions are nothing more than your gut malfunctioning because you have this upset balance between good and bad bacteria. So again, there's tests that we can do to identify whether you have yeast overgrowth, bacterial overgrowth, parasites. Some of these tests, some labs are better than others, and some tests are better than others. So you got to be very careful because not all tests are created equal. Because if you run the wrong test, you can get a false negative test. Or you may have obvious symptoms of digestion distress, but then your lab test is normal according to your doctor because they didn't do the right test. So you got to do the right test. You got to know how to interpret it. And that's what we do here. Okay? So that's important to have a healthy microbiome. So you got to get rid of the bad guys. You may have to do a pathogen cleanse, right? Getting rid of candida or parasites. And then you got to build up the good guys. You build up good guys with probiotics, but also you can increase the amount of fiber and fermented food that you eat. So definitely dietary changes can help with that. Number 4 things that you must do is called mucosal support. So basically, we're talking about healing leaky gut. Mucosa means the inner lining of your stomach. Okay, or in your mouth. Really, from your mouth to your anus is one continuous tube that's called your GI tract. So the inner lining of your mouth looks very similar to the inner lining of your intestine, right? It's kind of like red and moist. So the mucosa is basically the whole entire GI tract, the inner lining of it. And what happens is a lot of us develop leaky gut. Now, leaky gut is actually a process that we all experience. It's kind of like we all have leaky gut. It's kind of like we all get skin scraped up sometimes because you bump into things or just through abrasion, right? Our skin gets sloughed off at the old layer and the new layer comes in. So our gut lining is kind of like that. We're always sloughing off the old layer, building new layers, and that process, involves a little bit of leaky gut. So we all have leaky gut. And the question is, how leaky are you? Do you stay leaky more than you are not leaky? So it's a dynamic process. It's not like I have leaky gut, I did some treatment, took some supplements, now my gut's like duct taped together, so never going to become leaky again. No, it doesn't work like that. It's something you must continuously tend to and maintain, kind of like your garden, right? You got to maintain it, kind of like changing oil in your car. You got to constantly maintain it. So leaky gut is a very common occurrence because either gut infections, lack of proper digestion, or eating food that you're sensitive to or reactive to, or simply just having toxins in the food can cause leaky gut as well. So we gotta heal the gut, and you use specific supplements, you eliminate the foods. Basically, all these steps all work together to help each other. Healing the gut help with developing healthy microbiome. Eliminate reactive foods help with leaky gut. Improving digestive enzyme status help with leaky gut. Improving leaky gut help with enzyme production and acid production. So everything help each other. It's a holistic issue. So everybody always asks me, hey, what's the one thing I take? There's not one thing, man. I mean, it's kind of like, how do you have world peace? Well, it's not like one thing. It's not like some politician can do one thing. It's like all of us. There's multiple pieces to it. How do you create a clean environment? It's not one thing. It's multiple things. Same thing in your body. It's multiple things you got to do. There's not one magic pill. It's a holistic issue. Number 5 is proper liver and gallbladder detox. Okay? So what happens is, when you have sensitivity to food, sometimes it's the GI tract. Remember, your gallbladder and your liver does participate in digestion as well. Especially with gallbladder, the bile produced in the liver that's secreted in the gallbladder. Okay? So bile is really important in participating in digestion as well as elimination, especially with fatty nutrients like vitamin A, D, E, and K, as well as essential fatty acids. So you need your liver gallbladder to help with digestion, but obviously the liver gallbladder is really, really important in detoxifying toxins. And what happens is, if you have inability to detoxify, the toxin can start to build up, it'll start to recirculate in your body, and that can cause a lot of inflammation, that can cause a lot of build up these toxins that cannot be eliminated through the fecal route. So if you don't poop it out, guess what? It's going to come out somewhere. So it'll come out through your skin. So you may get skin issues, skin rashes, eczema. You may get skin that peel. If your liver gallbladder doesn't function properly, you also have a hard time metabolizing hormones like estrogen. So if you can't get rid of estrogen, it'll build up in your body. For female, that'll cause estrogen dominance, which will lead to polycystic ovarian symptom, fibroids, cysts, endometriosis. In guys, if estrogen and hormone recirculate, that'll cause low testosterone symptoms, cause difficulty losing weight. You can have depression, low motivation. You start developing man boobs, and not very attractive. Okay, so proper liver gallbladder clearance is key to this holistic issue called food and food tolerance. The next step is immune support. Okay, so we need to support the immune system. Remember, 70% of your immune system is in your gut, and your immune system is not just the gut, it's actually all of it, right? So point to one organ that's your immune system. You can't say the heart, right? Because like cardiovascular, heart, you can just point to it. But the immune system is complicated. Although 70% of it is really in the gut, but there's other parts that contribute to it. You have your lymphatic system, you have your thymus gland, your spleen as part of your immune function. You also have your brain that participates in it. Your brain actually closely monitors this and work with your immune system to monitor invaders and coordinate action. Your hormones actually dictate immune function as well. Thyroid hormone, for example. So your immune system is complicated. Okay? At the base of it, though, the most important thing that we can do for immune support is support what's called a T regulatory cells. The T regulatory cell. This is a type of white blood cell that regulate your immune system so it doesn't get all crazy and start to attack your own body, like autoimmune, or start to create excessive immune response, like an allergy. See, when you have an allergy, think of it as an overzealous immune activity, just like autoimmune. Because say if a dust or some kind of particulate matter got into your eye started to get teary and watery. It's an attempt to rinse out your eye of that toxin, right? That's a normal response. But when a toxin's rinsed out of your eye, or that the particulate matter or dust is rinsed out of your eye, the tearing should stop, right? There's a gas pedal, there should be a brake pedal. So if there's no more dust, your eye still continuously water and drain, that's an allergy symptom. So allergy is a form of immune system response. It's a form of immune overactivation. Like your immune system is so active that any little dust will cause you to tear and sneeze and all that stuff, where people with no allergies, same amount of dust in the air for all of us, why do some people have no allergy and you do? Because your immune system is not working properly. And what really regulates that is the T regulatory cells. So this is where, again, specific supplements really helpful for this, like vitamin D. Vitamin D is crucial in supporting the regulatory T cells so that it doesn't get all crazy and start to attack your own body, like in autoimmune disease or help with allergies. Also, glutathione. Glutathione, it's an intracellular antioxidant. Every single cell in your body produces it, and your body uses glutathione to support the T regulatory cells. So again, it creates stability in your immune system and creates more self-tolerance, so your immune system does not attack your own tissue, like in an allergy or an autoimmune disease. So number 6 is immune support. And that's your 6th step. Did I say 7? I say 6. So there's your 6 steps. Step 1, eliminate the food that you may be sensitive to, either through testing, or you can do an elimination diet, cutting out suspect foods. Number 2 is digestive enzyme support. Number 3 is creating a healthy microbiome by either testing for pathogens like candida, yeast, or parasites, and then use probiotics to repopulate with the good guys. Step 4 is to heal the mucosa or leaky gut support. And there's specific things that we use, products that we use, that can really speed up this process, right? Now, it's not about the product, it's about the thought process. It's not about the supplements, it's about how you're going about doing it. The supplement is just a tool. It's a tool, okay? And some tools are better than others, and some tools are higher quality than others, but certainly it's really the thought process. And remember, it all starts with eliminating the food. You can't supplement your way out of a bad diet. You got to start with eating correctly and then using the supplement to speed up the process. Step number 5 is proper liver gallbladder support. Step 6 is regulatory T cell, and we may do this on a repeated basis. Meaning, remember, leaky gut or allergy or your health is a dynamic thing. It's not static. Meaning that you can do something really well. Oh, I went off, sugar. I ate really healthy for like a month. I feel better. So you did something really healthy and you felt good after a month. Do you go back and eat the junk again? No, it's something you continuously work on. Now, nobody's perfect. Sometimes we get off the wagon a little bit. So that's where this process may be repeated several times a year. Depends on how reactive or sensitive you are, what kind of other health challenges you have. You may be able to repeat this on a quarterly basis, or even more frequent, or less frequent. So once you understand the underlying concept, then there are things that you can do on your own to empower yourself to continue to get better. So hopefully this helps you. Now, there are specific things that I use for each of these steps. For example, in a digestive enzyme area, we use a product called Enzyme HCl+. And this particular product specifically provides full spectrum digestive enzyme plus gastric HCl. So it's all inclusive, everything is included in that. I'll answer that question from Erica in just a little bit. With the healthy microbiome, we use what's called Symbiome Plus. Now this is really unique in that not only does this have probiotics, it also has what's called a bacteriophage. A bacteriophage is a compound that actually inhibit and kill off the bacteria, the bad bacteria, while supporting the good bacteria. So this has dual action of getting rid of the bad guy, but increasing the good guy. So there's specific tools, that we use that's clinically proven, that we use in our practice with thousands of clients, that we know exactly what to expect, high quality products you can trust. As far as mucosal support, the primary thing that we use there is called GI Resuscitate. This is our flagship product, one of our best-selling products that helps support leaky gut. In the liver gallbladder area, there's several different things that we use. There's powders that we use called neurometabolic detox, or we may use specific product to support the liver and the gallbladder, either hepato-GSH to support the liver and glutathione production, or we may use Cholecys Pro, which is an excellent product to support gallbladder function. Now, you may be asking, if I don't have a gallbladder, it's been removed, I have my gallbladder removed, do you still need that? Absolutely. In fact, you need it even more, because now you have a disability. You had your gallbladder taken out, you lost that function for the rest of your life. It'd just be like somebody who's, had the right leg amputated. Well, now they need a prosthetic or need to walk with a cane or a wheelchair. You need help. Same thing, you have gallbladder removed, you need help. And the product you want to use is Colicis Pro to help support that, okay? The next thing is T regulatory cell support. We always talk about vitamin D and glutathione. And remember, all these products at each stage all support each other. By supporting clearance from the liver and gallbladder, you're supporting leaky gut. By supporting leaky gut, you're going to support liver and gallbladder clearance. So everything supports each other. It's a holistic issue, okay? So I'm going to put links to these products that'll help you. So if you have any questions, hey, I just don't know what to take. I trust, your advice. You're giving me really useful stuff. We'll put links to product that's pharmaceutical grade, high quality product that we use with thousands of clients to get clinical results. We'll put this link here, so if you need to get those, you may. If you have something you use yourself, great. If you feel like you're not getting great result, you might try something different. My goal is to build a relationship with you, to help you, to give you information that'll help you, and to be a resource for you, okay? And if you need more help than just the product, I can't figure this stuff out. I've been taking products for a long time. I've been trying to self-help, self-care, self-diagnose, self-treat. You need more help. If you need more help, then call and schedule a case review. A case review is a first step to identifying the root cause, going through your medical history, looking at your lab work, so that we can tell you specifically what track you need to go on. Maybe you're good with this, this, and this, but this area you're not doing so good. So you can focus your energy on doing what's going to help you and leverage it so you get faster result and you get rid of all the confusion and the frustration and you start feeling better soon. Okay, so a case review is where you want to go if you just need that support, and you can do so by calling 480-988-6269, or you can go to our website and request a consultation there. This week we do have a Thyroid Solutions Workshop. That's Wednesday at 5:30. If you haven't been to a workshop, a thyroid workshop that we put on, you really owe it to yourself to come, because I present information just like this. I make sense of it. I draw it out for you. I answer your questions. It's interactive. It's great. If you haven't been to it, it'll really help you, especially if you struggle with thyroid issues, you have Hashimoto's, autoimmune, or you know somebody that have that. Please share this video. Ask them to come to the Thyroid Solution Workshop. Bring a friend. Bring a buddy. It'll really help you just identify or create clarity so you know what's your next step. Next week, we do have the AutoImmune Solution Workshop, so you may register for that as well. I'll put the link for registration on this post. And then remember, we have the mix every Friday. This is the show where I cook, and the joke is I can't cook, so I'm doing a cooking show. Get it? But because I can't cook, we seek to make things really simple, fast, and easy so they can still make healthy, holistic, and nutritious food that'll help you get better. Okay? And we do consult with clients worldwide. So if you're not in Arizona, you're out of the area, anywhere in the United States, even worldwide. We have clients in London, in Romania, from Denmark, all over. That's consulting with us because we typically help people who've been to multiple doctors, who haven't gotten results anywhere else, and the things that I'm telling you here resonate with you because it's a logical approach, scientifically based, and people are looking for us for answers. So if you're outside the area, don't be shy. Don't be afraid to call on us. We do Skype and FaceTime consultations, so we can do this virtually anywhere. Lab tests can be ordered where you are, and we'll help you. We'll help you get better. Okay, so please use us. And with that said, I want to thank you all for coming. And Erica had a question. Can I answer Erica's question? Let's take a look. Erica asks, what do we suggest for someone who had gallbladder removal? Okay, great. I'm glad. Hopefully I answered that for you. If you have any more questions, Erica, put it in the comment section. Anybody who has questions, put it in the comment section. I personally answer all the questions in the comment section. So hope this helps you, and we'll see you next week at the Ask Dr. Kan Show. Take care.